Hey, what's going on today, guys? Happy Friday to you. Happy release email day. Let's try to get that to catch on. I think it's going to be a thing. Hey, lots to cover today. We've got a new document that's going to be signed by all buyers at closing. We got the real estate equivalent, I would say. Yeah, we got the real estate equivalent of the last Melon and Ice Age coming for sale this next week. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, we got an acre. Almost. We're going to round up and we're going to call it an acre because I ain't never sold one of those before. Okay, we're going to call it that. And then last thing I want to do is go over some numbers. I think it's super important to see kind of what Edge is doing and what Edge's goals and projections are. So we're going to jump into that. As always, thank you for taking just a couple of minutes to sit and watch this. It does take a little bit of time. I do pay some people to do it. So my goal is to always be providing valuable information just to make sure that you guys are never caught off guard on anything on our end, maybe some trends that we're seeing. And so the first thing to cover today really quickly is in section 24 of all of our contracts. You can go and see it. There's right now, there has been for the last couple of years, something in there that says do not sell for 1 year. It's a restriction on sale clause. And the question has become, kind of a frequent question right now, just because buyers are seeing so much equity in their home, is, hey, what can Edge actually do to enforce that? We've had a couple of people that have seen dollar signs and sold right away. As you know, Edge has reinforced and committed back to buyers that they are not going to increase prices due to the material cost increasing. It's super cool that they're doing this. Obviously, tons of builders are steering away from that. But if we are going to hold up our side of the contract like that and honor that, we obviously are going to expect, like I've said earlier, the buyers to do the same. We do expect them to adhere to that do not sell for 1 year. In order to enforce that, we've never really been able to do it, and it hasn't always happened that often. It hasn't been frequent. But in order to enforce that, now we are going to be doing a deed restriction signed by the buyer at closing that just says, I won't sell it for 1 year. I can't sell it. And if they do try to sell it, that deed will pop up in title and it won't be a clear title. It expires exactly 1 year after. But this is just to make sure that everybody is on the same page with what Edge's expectations are and what buyers' expectations should be of us. If you have any questions, if you have buyers that are under contract that you're nervous about, this is going to start to come out over the course of the next week. So I do think that this is something important to get out. Now that the hard part's over, let's jump into what we got releasing. If you guys have ever seen Ice Age, where you got them little dodo birds going around saying the last melon, that's what we got coming for sale this week in our Vineyard community. If you haven't had a chance to go and see what these look like, I'm going to throw a couple of pictures up because the views that come with these condos are absolutely second to none. These have always been a very popular release, and I think with this being the last one, if a buyer wants to get in on any sort of a lakefront property like this is really like that last chance. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have an acre releasing. I'm calling it an acre. We're rounding up. It's 0.94, and I do really want to sell that big one. So if you have buyers that are looking or have been looking for that, it's a way for them to almost get a custom home with locked-in pricing right now. There's not a better setup if you have buyers looking for something that's that size. Last thing that I wanted to run over is I love being able to see exactly what it is that Edge is doing. I like seeing where their goals are because to me that's a great indicator of where they're expecting the market to go. So I want to start including where we're at, kind of like a weekly tracker almost, to tell you guys exactly how many homes we've sold and if we're on track for our goal or not. I love being able to track this number and being able to watch it. I love being able to see what Edge is expecting from the market based on how many units we're able to release, how many we're able to build. And so tracking that sales number I think can be super valuable to get kind of a temperature on where the market's at, since we do sell quite a few homes every single month. So a little bit of going back just a month, in June our goal was 109 and we ended up with just over 140 transactions at 143. So obviously there's still a lot of intensity within the market. However, like I've been saying in my last couple of videos, it is getting easier to get product just because of the amount that we are releasing. As always, if you have friends or other agents in your office that have not been added to my list to be getting these videos every week, I'm going to be sending these out every week. I'm going to be on top of it because I do think that this is an unbelievable way for you to be able to sell to help your buyers buy a home in this market. Keep in mind the units that we discussed this week don't go for sale until next week. So if you do have people that you think some of these might fit for, give me a call. Let's get them on the phone. Let's have those conversations and those appointments before next week so that we're dialed in for this release. As always, be good, guys. Thanks so much.